What's up, guys?
What's up, man? How's it going, Nikki?
This is the horror movie podcast. This week, though, no Mo, unfortunately, but we have a special guest. One of my oldest friends. Known him 15 years.
Yeah, 16.
16 years, dude. Coming here from Austin, Texas, just to do this podcast, which is pretty great.
Nick flew me in first class, which was great.
yeah. I did.
Yeah. It was a slow flight.
Yeah. And so I shouted out before on this podcast, but let them know about your podcast.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me on. Great being here. I do a podcast called Two Reels with my friends Joey BK and Rod Bastonmere. I can never pronounce his last name right, so forgive me, Rod, but we look at new movies coming out and we pair them with another movie that we think would make for a really good double feature. So super excited because we basically never talk about horror movies, and now I get to talk a little bit about horror movies.
Yeah. It's weird that you don't talk about the best genre.
Yeah, well, let's see. We did The Invisible Man.
Okay.
And
how'd you like it?
I loved it. I thought it was really good, and we paired it with
Hollow Man.
No. It's a good guess. Fatal Attraction. Which was a pretty fun pairing. But that was pretty much the only scary movie we've done. And as you know, I'm not as deep into the horror genre as you are.
Yeah.
So I proposed the idea of talking about The Faculty today, 1998.
So good.
Probably my favorite Halloween movie, or the one I rewatched the most.
Halloween? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like around Halloween time?
Yeah, and then you pitched pairing it with Idle Hands, which I think is great. 1999, so back-to-back years and another classic.
Yeah.
Which one do you like more?
Shit. The Faculty, more serious vibes, right? Man. I think they're pretty even in my book in terms of I've seen The Faculty probably more. Man, Josh Hartnett. I mean, God, how do you? Well, but then you got Jessica Alba, and I don't know, dude.
The cast in these movies is really insane.
Yeah,
a lot of people who everybody knows, but they didn't know at the time, right? You have Josh Hartnett in The Faculty. You have Selma Hayek.
You have the chick that's in every 90s edgy. She's the edgelord of the 90s, whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah, God, who is that?
Just the, is she a lesbian?
Yeah, was she... God, what else was she big in? She was in a lot of things, but you also had Jordana Brewster, who's Fast and the Furious hotness.
Okay.
She's Vin Diesel's sister in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
She's the sexy teens. Girl.
Yeah.
You have, what's her face? Famke Janssen, who is Jean Grey in the first, 3 X-Men. She's one of the teachers.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's kind of subtly hitting on Josh Hartnett?
Exactly.
Or some of them, yeah.
Exactly. You have Jon Stewart, the Daily Show man himself, as the science teacher. And
he's on their side. He's like, what's going on?
The herpes king, Usher Raymond, holding it down.
Wow.
And the main character who's listed last on the IMDb, fucking Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Frodo Baggins, bro. Coming through hot.
Who is a huge horror buff. And he's like...
okay.
So I think we talked about it here, but he remade Angst. So it's like a classic horror movie. He did a shot-for-shot remake of it.
Wow.
With him as the killer, and it's actually pretty good.
That's awesome. I think that he's actually a pretty good actor, and he doesn't quite get the cred because he's so typecast.
Yeah.
He's always Frodo now. But yeah, I mean, just an insane cast in that movie. And then if you look at Idle Hands, it's kind of same deal, man. It's all these people who at the time nobody knew that much about, but Seth Green's in there. Mm-hmm. This first guy, Devon Sawa, who some people probably know, was in another one of my favorite horror movies, Final Destination. Casper.
Okay. The chubby guys in Casper, or no?
It's the main character
Okay.
from Idle
Got
Hands.
it.
But
Oh, yeah,
then-
he is in it. Final Stage.
But then you have Seth Green, you have Jessica Alba, you have Vivica A. Fox. God, who else is in here? Those are probably the big ones, but those are pretty good. I mean,
Dude, Jessica Alba.
you probably liked her because she was 16.
Literally, I was about to say probably the hottest she's ever
Yeah,
been.
yeah.
And
She
like,
really
yeah,
peaked at
yeah,
16. When she turned 18, Nick was out.
Yeah, I'm out. But no, I looked up the other chick that I was talking about. That's edgelord chick,
She plays Stokely in The Faculty.
Clea Duvall, who I don't think she's related to Mr. Duvall, but
God, I hope
shockingly,
not.
she's
She'd be
in Girl Interrupted, which
Yeah.
checks out. Mm-hmm. She's in She's All That. Mm-hmm. Ghosts
That's
of Mars.
probably where she's most well known from, is She's All That.
Ghosts of Mars, though. Dude.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Jason Statham movie.
Is he?
I'm pretty
It's
darn
my favorite
positive.
John Carpenter.
It's your favorite Carpenter movie,
No, it's
huh?
not, but I love it so much.
Ghosts of Mars is
Ice Cube, dude. I mean,
yeah, it's Statham,
Oh, yeah.
Ice Cube, Pam Grier. That's a pretty stacked movie too. I mean, we could get really deep
Yeah.
into that one too, but
that needs its own. I mean, that thing is. It's unbelievable that it was made.
it's an insane movie.
Like when they pitched it, when he wrote it, and then when they pitched who's gonna be in it, and it's gonna be Ice Cube. It only could happen when it happened.
You know what the Ice Cube casting in that kind of feels like is similar to the LL Cool J casting in Deep Blue Sea.
See?
Where you're like, you know what? Let's get LL Cool in there. And why don't we give him like a gimmick? Like, should he have like a parrot on his shoulder most of the movie? And like, you know, that does fit in with what we want to do. That's actually
Yeah.
perfect.
Is it this is my controversial, you know what I mean, take? But do you think they were like? They wrote in Samuel Jackson getting killed off real quick, like, oh, we gotta have another, you know.
Yeah, we gotta have a
in
black
the
guy make
movie
it to the
because
end.
he has to save the day. And
But he can't just be any black guy. He has to be an animal lover.
animal lover, yeah. Very specific. Just
Yeah,
a
I
big, gentle heart.
I think that this is probably an exact echo of the conversation
Yeah.
that was had in the
They wrote it
casting
like,
room.
okay, Samuel Jackson, great scene, one of the most shocking death scenes in any movie ever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, fuck. Now it's all fucking boring white people. What?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Sam Jackson does go out hot, though, in that movie. I think
Dude.
one of his last lines is, "You think water's fast? Try ice."
What?
What? Yeah.
There's no ice in that movie.
No, but he's telling a story of a time he survived an avalanche.
Got it.
And it's like,
Yeah.
like that line, whoever wrote that is wrong. Water is generally faster than
Yeah.
ice.
You gotta, I mean, you hope it's. I feel like all writers in this era were just stoned and high on coke.
Just
and
a lot of coke, I
And thought
think.
it was funny. They were like, dude, look what we can get away with.
I mean, these are all great movies too, and they all have weird casts, and probably somebody today would watch them and think of all of them as B movies.
Yeah.
But like,
They weren't. They're blockbuster movies.
I don't think any of the movies Ghost of Mars is a B movie,
not
but
a blockbuster.
Deep Blue Sea, Faculty, and Idle Hands. I mean, Idle Hands is a cult classic.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a B movie, I don't think, when it came out.
No.
And The Faculty was a pretty big movie at the time, I believe. I wonder how much money it made. And Deep Blue Sea was obviously fucking huge.
Yeah, it's a big budget for Deep Blue Sea, I imagine.
And it was a special time in horror movies, going back to The Faculty and Idle Hands. Like, teen movies were really big in the 90s. I mean, they've
Yeah.
always had a moment, but I'd say, like, second half of 90s, early 2000s, teen movies were hot.
Yeah.
And
it was
any
fun.
any movie was a teen movie. You had teen action movies,
Yeah.
teen horror movies.
It was
your
just,
teen
I
movies.
mean, it's literally definition of our millennial generation, right? And there were tons of kids because boomers were having babies. We
Too
were
many
all,
kids.
like, young teens, you know what I mean? Like early 2000s, just hitting puberty and fucking. It was perfect to see Jessica Alba, you know, and a little whatever fucking angel costume she has on. But and then from there though, what the next generation of horror was gore porn. It went boom, Hostel, Saw.
When did Hostel come out? Like
That's
early 2000s?
I think Saw 1 might have been the first of all those.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you had Saw.
Saw was 2004.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's when it was like horror wasn't going to be fun anymore. It was going to be like scary and gross, and that was going to become the new fun.
And
like,
we were growing and we were getting older. And yeah, Hostel was 2005.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about The Faculty and you think about Idle Hands, there is gore. Like, there's violence, but it's more like, think like a PG-13 haunted house gore, like a hand crawling around in Idle Hands, or like a bacteria going into somebody's ear. Like, it's not vicious blood. It's not meant to look too realistic. It's meant to like make you squirm a little bit, and that's about all.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, budget first on Idle Hands, how much would you guess that movie cost to make?
Cost to make $30 million.
Okay, you overshot it a little bit.
Okay.
$25 million.
Hey, that's close.
Guess how much it made worldwide?
10.
$4 million.
Oof.
They got hit. And
Really?
It's probably made a lot of that back now.
Yeah, but even I just feel like the movie would have done so well when it came out.
So many people have seen it, but it was a cult movie. Okay,
Man.
now let's do Faculty. Guess how much that costs?
$50 million.
$15 million. So
Wow.
half the price.
And there's CGI in there, and there's like more.
That big scene at the end where it has the monster in the pool.
Yeah, and all the football players and
That's a great scene, actually. And then how about how much it made worldwide?
25.
$40 million.
Wow.
So it was like
Because it
infinitely
is
more successful.
It is a little more serious.
It's more mainstream. Like, it's a movie that doesn't... Like, I can't imagine that Idle Hands had a long theater run.
Yeah, and like if you just Idle Hands on paper, I can imagine when that comes out and it's like on billboards and the commercials. Really stupid idea.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Horrendous.
the movie is basically about stoners who some weird shit happens on Halloween.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Dude, Where's My Car of horror.
Yeah.
Whereas The Faculty at the time was like hot. It was Invasion of the Body Snatchers turned into a high school.
Yeah, and they like put, Josh Hartnett and
Good looking people.
I feel like Josh Hartnett at that time probably you could just put him in anything. Which is unfortunate about his career.
It's unfortunate because he kind of sucks.
Well, dude, okay, he was really good in 30 Days a Night or whatever.
40 Days and 40 Nights.
No, no, the vampire movie in like Alaska.
30 Days of Night. Yeah,
that was really good.
Yeah, and then he tore it up in Lucky Number 7.
Oh yeah, he was so bad in that.
Lucky Number 11. Sorry, I'm a moron.
Decent movie.
It was okay.
It's entertaining.
And then you kind of go through his career, and he's got a pretty weird career.
What happened after Slevin? Nothing, right? Or just nothing big?
I mean, yeah, nothing super notable. I'm just kind of looking through his IMDb. But, this was a good movie, though. And, like, The Faculty, if that's what you're carrying around on your resume, I'll vote for you.
Yeah, it is a classic. Salma Hayek, who is she in there? She a teacher too?
Yeah. She is...
Spanish teacher. Obviously.
No, she's the nurse. Oh. She's a school nurse, and she has a scene where she's hiding in the closet, watching the principal and the older woman teacher like chug water because the creatures really need it.
Yeah.
And they find her in the closet and like convert her.
Got it. But at first, she's like kind of she like tricks them because she's on their side. This is right when they're like figuring out some sort of that there's something going on.
There are a couple tricksters in it.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about an Invasion of the Body Snatchers is like this movie again is not horribly violent, but it does a really good thing of like pretty quickly you don't know who you can trust and who you can. And anytime anybody goes into the principal's office, they come out body snatchers. Like Frodo calls his parents in and they have to go talk to the principal and they come out and you just know what happens. And
Yeah, and there's that scene where they're all like in line to like get their shot or whatever, and some like '90s fucking music. So I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just perfect '90s scene, and they're like walking down the hallway, like, oh fuck.
Yeah, they're like, it's like flu time, so they take
Yeah.
everybody's temperature or something. Yeah, and then there's that great scene where the whole football team's out just standing in the sprinkler.
And that, I mean, it's been a little bit, but I feel like that's the first time. Obviously, everybody knows, like it's very in the open, but it's the first time they're like really out. They're like, fuck it.
Yeah, this town is now all fucking body snatchers.
Yeah, like we're not hiding. We're gonna kill you.
I thought you were gonna say it was the first time we find out that high school football players are pieces of shit.
No. Shout out. You know, if you played football.
If you played high school football.
You just alienated such a big part of our listener base.
Just only the ones who are rapists.
Yeah.
I'm not down.
Not down.
Not down.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going there too.
They're bad.
Bad.
But if you get into the NFL and you need a fantasy team to play on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need a fantasy team. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a special time because you really paint the 90s. Now you can go back and you can just watch the 90s. There's teen movies nonstop. And Idle Hands is actually kind of the other side of it, right? I mean, Faculty, aside from Josh Hartnett, they're all pretty good kids. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot of like getting fucked up. Josh Hartnett has like his drug scat that he makes that somehow ends up.
Yeah, he is the bad kid. Yeah,
that's the secret of the whole movie. Is the one thing that can kill these body snatchers is a under the sink made drug.
The '90s loved that because I think it was like the ecstasy boom. So it's like a lot of homemade drugs in general. So there's a lot of like, hey, it's fucking, it's called snatchers, you know? It's just like random made up
shit. It was a weird drug boom because, like, I guess so rap was getting big, drugs were becoming more popularized. Ecstasy's first come out was like disco in the 70s. Yeah. But this was like a bounce back for it. And then you had like meth was getting big.
Yeah, a lot of designer drugs.
Yeah, and there's a point in the Faculty where Josh Hartnett's describing his drug. And he names like 10 things. And he's like, but it's mostly just crushed up caffeine pills. and like, it turns out like that's what kills the aliens is they just don't like crushed up caffeine. How'd they develop that weakness of all the things?
Dude, it's like they got to think of better ways to like signs, glasses of water.
Yeah.
There's just some real shit like, well, which one is the one where it's loud? Oh, that's it's like loud noises.
And it's like so loud that it like makes their heads explode.
Yeah, like Mars Attacks.
Oh yeah, Mars Attacks, and they play the opera music. Yeah.
Gotta be some just really lazy. I feel like.
Well, you know, if you want to try and convince me that water kills aliens, I'll buy that because that's a big.
Well, don't come to this planet.
Yeah, it's like an important part of the world. So I'm like, okay, they have a weakness, like a big thing. That'd be like telling me fire. Okay, I'll believe it.
Yeah,
but a designer drug made out of mostly crushed up caffeine pills and like some Clorox, like, it's pretty surprising to me that they have a specific allergy to one drug, and it's a drug that Josh Hartnett makes in his basement.
Yeah, I wonder if like other forms of caffeine are fine. It's just the combination he made.
Yeah. It has to be 3% Clorox, 2% Windex.
Yeah.
And then it'll kill us.
Yeah.
But Idle Hands is the opposite. They're just like ripping bong rips from the start. There's like the dude gets the bottle cracked in his head. And what's the horror in Idle Hands aside from the hand?
It's just that's it, dude.
There's like a zombie force happening in the city or something. Like people can't die.
No, I feel like it's literally his hand is killing people. And so it's like
he like gets possessed and his hand gets possessed and they chop off the hand.
Yeah, but then it starts doing like
then it starts doing things. But if you remember right, Seth Green also has a bottle shattered in his head.
Oh, well his homies are like zombies. But I don't think from my memory that's explained.
Yeah, you don't feel like that kind of just puts everything together?
No, I literally feel like it just they wanted to keep the characters in, and it was kind of funny.
And here we are trying to figure out why the movie didn't make a whole lot of money.
Yeah, and also this dude's like the biggest loser in the world, right?
That's right.
Just happens to have the hottest girlfriend in the world that he's not interested. He's like, I have to go to a Halloween party. Oh, babe, dude.
Because that's right. That's how it starts. There's a murderer in town, and the murderer is killing people.
Okay.
And everybody's wondering who it is. And at some point, he realizes it's him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like he's been smoking pot and like blacking out when he gets stoned.
Yeah.
And he realizes that he's the one who's been murdering everybody, and he blames his hand for doing it. And so he chops off his hand. And
yeah. No, and his two friends just happen to come back as this says, wisecracking zombies. There's nothing else about zombies in that.
But they got some great wisecracks.
That is
they got
crazy.
Some great wisecracks.
Dude, who wrote this?
Yeah. And there's one really important lesson that I think you can learn if you watch these two movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that smoking weed will make you live forever.
Yep.
But doing designer drugs will kill you if you're an alien.
Yes. Also, that it's not that hard to make a movie. That's what I'm learning. You know what I mean? You want to be like, oh, it's got to be so interesting and everything's got to make sense. It's like, not really.
Well, you better hope that your movie that doesn't make sense is The Faculty and you make some money as opposed to losing $11 million.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I'd be happy if I was known as the creator of Idle Hands.
Well, fuck yeah, because I bet in like DVD releases and stuff like that, it probably...
Yeah, he probably does a lot of like live features at like screenings.
At like grindhouses across the country and stuff.
Yeah. He probably does a lot of that for free.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out... Okay,
and what's more fun than talking to self-righteous nerds in a dark theater?
They're probably asking him a lot of questions too.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of theories about why his friends come back to life. But,
he's like, I was on a lot of blow at the time.
Like, but excuse me, I was talking to my friend Donald, and he doesn't believe that.
Dude, we should do a podcast that's just like self-righteous nerds talking about films.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know who directed The Faculty?
Robert Rodriguez. Get on my level, dude. And who also directed Hostel.
A lot of things.
Which is not true. Eli Roth directed Hostel. Robert Rodriguez did...
he did Grind. I mean, he did one of the movies in Grindhouse. He did From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah. But Desperado or whatever. Those 3 movies. With
Did he do those movies? Yeah. Okay. Well, he started... he did The Faculty. It's not where he started, but he did it, and it's really fucking good. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even realize it was him. And it's worth noting that when I asked you, you didn't even have your phone in front of you. Nick just knew it was Robert Rodriguez, unless he was looking at his phone like 2 minutes ago.
It was when I looked 2 minutes ago.
Who it was?
Yeah, I lied. But he's got El Mariachi, Spy Kids,
Sin City.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
So we did Sin City on one of our podcasts, and it's like my favorite movie of all time.
Mm-hmm. Really?
It's one of. I mean, it's really, really good. And
I like it.
Robert Rodriguez, I think that was like when people realized he was kind of a genius.
Yeah.
Just like he did so much weird shit with that movie, and it worked out.
Well, and Tarantino, back Sin City, back From Dusk Till Dawn.
He wrote like a scene in Sin City. He was an actor in From Dusk Till Dawn.
So Tarantino was always like in his camp.
Totally.
Which helps.
Also, if you've ever seen a Grindhouse that's like Planet Terror and Death Proof, I personally like Planet Terror a lot more, which is the Rodriguez one.
I love Death Proof.
Yeah? Why is
very
that?
Specific. It's just so
simple. You like
simple.
watching Kurt Russell murder pretty women?
Yeah, I like watching chicks die. No, it's just I like the feel of it. It's just a very simple, obviously, but like they put so much into such a simple fucking plot.
Mm-hmm. And filmed in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite Tarantinos.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like an hour about, right?
Yeah. It's not that long. It's just I love Kurt Russell. I mean,
I do love Kurt Russell, and the women in it are beautiful. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of really talented ladies.
Yeah, it's shot like 8mm. Like I think they both are, right? Like sort of.
Yeah, they're
whatever.
both shot really cool. That's like where
Planet Terror is
Machete
great.
came from.
Yeah, I just thought the way that it's shot fit better with Death Proof as a concept.
Well, they each got their own movie. Planet Terror was really gross and vicious.
Yeah,
but I mean, at one point,
but but it pushed so far that it's like funny or like so over the top violent.
Yeah, well, and what's her face is in both. Rose McGowan.
Oh, not Rosie Dawson or whatever.
Rosario Dawson.
Rosia.
No, she didn't Sin City though. But no, Rose McGowan gets to be in both movies. She's the first.
So
girl.
hot.
Yeah, she's like the.
Talk about crushes from the 90s.
Well, she is one of the initial victims of Weinstein, unfortunately.
Jesus.
So she had a tough career.
Me out.
I know it's a bummer for everybody, especially her.
Yeah, and she dated Marilyn Manson,
Who is famously an abusive, horrible piece of
Really?
shit to women.
Nice.
Yeah, like master manipulator, which makes sense if you're.
Yeah.
I mean, you're. This could get dark quickly, but anyway, in these movies, she really gets it. She gets Kurt Russell to kill her, but she also gets
true. She's
chain.
one of the first.
She's the first.
Yeah.
But she gets a chain machine gun as a leg.
Yeah, that's
in
kind of
Planet
cool.
Terror.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Like, give her a shot.
Like, like they kill her off and kind of give her a redemption story throughout both.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because she's kind of like the dumb one that gets manipulated and killed
In
Death Proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I've been to that bar that Death Proof is
No
shot
way.
in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
it's
the
in Austin.
Texas Chili Parlor.
Fuck.
It looks almost the same. There's two primary differences. One, they don't have green chartreuse, which is
Okay, is that
all
what
that
they
they drink
drink?
in that.
Okay.
And two, Tarantino's not the bartender.
Is 13 the bartender?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a creepy bartender, and they're like, he'll buy us shots all night, but he'll only give you shots of green chartreuse. And so that's what they have to drink all night.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about Death Proof, which it's creepier looking back at it. It's like, this dude's a serial killer. Mm-hmm. It's not just like, he's a legit, has planned, has done this many times, knows exactly, like, built his car to kill people. Like, this is what he does.
Yeah. And I mean, he gets in a really savage accident. Yeah. And when he heals, he just comes back and does it more. Yeah. The thing about it is, it's scarier to think about as a concept than to watch because it's Kurt Russell. And Kurt Russell's a really good actor, but he's just like, to me, he's always Big Trouble Little China, Kurt Russell. And so when I see him, I just like can't help but laugh.
Really?
I mean, what's the first Kurt Russell movie you think of when you think Kurt Russell?
Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Which is more serious, but also not.
But he's still having
Snake
fun
Plissken.
in that movie.
Yeah, it's I guess I think a character actor kind of.
Totally.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's like in real life.
Yeah, he's a guy that I hope doesn't rape people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These days.
Yeah, that's bad now.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and I imagine he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
To like hang out with, just as a bud.
Yeah, like,
except he's probably he dealt with Goldie Hawn for 30 fucking years or wherever. Like that. There's not a screw loose right there.
Well, probably say that he was the type of dude who's interested in swinging by someone's garage and recording a podcast.
Sure.
I think that would make him a really cool dude.
Yeah.
Maybe the coolest dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need a favorite actor, and there's one criteria.
Yeah.
And that's that they come record podcasts with us.
Totally. So if you're listening, just know that we'll think you're pretty cool.
Kurt, if you're listening.
Yeah. Well, he goes by Kurt with us.
Yeah, well, K.
Yeah.
I just call him K.
Yeah, K-Dog.
Yeah. K. Russ in the building.
Dude, that would be a fucking...
That'd be a time.
That's it, dude. How old is he now?
Probably 25.
He's probably getting up there.
He's the ageless man.
Yeah. That'd be funny if we finally we make it and we're like, it's like 5 years from now, but he's just senile.
Yeah.
He comes on, he shits his pants.
And he just needs like a money grab at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
People just wheeling in. because he needs some money.
A lot can change in 5 years, K-Russ.
Yeah.
It's now or never, buddy.
Now or never. Yeah. Put us on the map. Don't wait till we're on the map.
Yeah, put me on, dog. Put me on. See how we stay on topic? Like we've just been talking faculty nonstop.
Yeah, that's what. What do you like better?
I'm faculty.
Faculty.
All in. Like I get why these movies did as well as each of them did. Like the Faculty is a movie that you show somebody and they'll watch all the way through because it gets started pretty quick. Yeah. And people generally like and are scared but think it's funny because it's all these actors who now are like big time. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, that guy's in it. Oh, she's in it. Oh, whoa. And like, that's the whole movie, but they're also jumping and scared. Yeah.
It is a great horror movie to get someone who isn't into horror to like watch.
Yeah. And there's a lot of movies there. This is a great 90s one. Mm-hmm. Idle Hands is a movie you could show somebody and 10 minutes in, they're like, I'm done watching this. Yeah.
Which has made me realize, like, because I've always liked horror, my criteria of one for a movie that is good or that I like is so much different than most people. Mm-hmm. Like most people, it's like if they don't know someone that's in the movie, it's not good or they're not going to see it, which is crazy.
Yeah, star power is really especially for people who don't watch a lot of movies, right? Yeah, you go into a movie, you don't watch a lot of movies. It's not your type of genre, and you don't see anyone that you like in like 10 minutes. Yeah. For a lot of people, that's like reason to not watch a movie. To me, that's like the reason I watch movies is like, oh, whoa, who is this person? Yeah. Oh, what this movie's doing is really cool.
Yeah, because for me, when I see someone I recognize in a horror movie, especially like an indie, I already know. I'm like, oh, they're not going to die. I already know that the plot is going to center. I like
where they die at the very end.
Yeah, I like not knowing anyone in it.
Yeah, and that's fair, but like that's not for everybody, right?
No.
Like,
well, that's what I'm realizing.
Some people, if you really like food, if you're a really big food person, you are always
not
excited. Me. No, not Nick.
Super in shape.
Not Nick. You were actually sitting here staring at his weight.
I didn't just put all those weights up before you got here.
Yeah. That'd be a big setup. There's a lot of weight on there.
Yeah, I'd have to lift it up there either way.
Yeah. What did you put those dildos out before I got here?
What? Wait.
I'm just joking. There's no weights here. But yeah, but I mean, if you are a food person, right? Somebody who loves food gets excited about trying a new type of food, a dish they've never had. People who don't care that much about food always want their burger with no tomatoes or lettuce or onions and blah, 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 because they like just want comfort. Yeah. But once you start watching things a lot, eating lots of different food, you get excited about the new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you might discover someone. You might be on the ground floor of someone's career, which as I'm getting older is more real. It's happened where you're like, whoa, I remember like when no one knew who they were.
I mean, if you watched The Faculty in 98 and you were like, whoa, this movie's awesome. I can't wait to see what happens to these people. Yeah. That's the feeling you have now. But that's also why it's a great rewatch, because you can show it to somebody and every person they see, they're like, holy shit, that person's a star. And it makes people want to watch more. And that's just like Idle Hands doesn't really have that, unfortunately.
No, because even the quote unquote star power isn't real. Like Jessica Alba didn't really have like a career.
And nobody's like, oh, Jessica Alba, she's this huge star who was in these movies. It's like, oh, she was really hot for a long time.
Yeah, she was hot in the 90s and early 2000s.
And arguably has never been a great actress.
No.
But like when you have the main character from Lord of the Rings, all of a sudden you're like, I'm in. I just want to see what this guy did.
Yeah. He took me a while. So, because like I said, he's in a lot of horror and he like directs horror. A lot of it's good, but it took me a while. Yeah. Like I would avoid movies. I'd be on like Shudder, whatever. And I'd be like, because that's all I can think about.
Yeah.
Is Frodo.
So if you could, who would be a woman you could put in Jessica Alba's place that would be as exciting to see in Idle Hands as it is to see Frodo in The Faculty?
Jennifer Lawrence.
That's a great example. Yeah. No, Jennifer Lawrence is a great example because she was the star of a huge franchise. Yeah. she's thought of as a really good actress. And if you were to see her in that movie,
And
you'd
she's
be
so
like,
hot. And I imagine when she's 60, I mean, younger.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you'd see her and you'd be like, is that
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence? With Jessica Alba, I think it's kind of like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But she didn't go on. She's really famous, but she just didn't go on to have that huge career building up. Like, still one of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me, I know she's bigger than this other chick that I'm thinking of, but it kind of makes me think of the chick that got naked in American Pie.
God, what is her name? Well, she was really big around that time.
Exactly. I mean, Jessica Alba did, like, Jessica Alba was in Sin City and, like, was pretty good in that.
Yeah.
And did some good stuff, but she's not remembered, really. I also, there was a lot of stuff I feel like in the mid-2000s about her being insane.
Jessica Alba.
I think that came out and kind of ruined her career.
I don't know all that much about Jessica Alba. I know she is not the person who makes Alba shampoo or conditioner. No. I lost a bet over that.
Damn.
At a restaurant.
I would have lost that one.
That's why I bought Alba face washes, because I was like, Jessica Alba's got some dope ass skin,
yeah, not because
dude.
it's for chicks.
No,
It's not why.
I bought it for my girlfriend, okay?
Yeah.
But then she didn't want it.
Yeah. I don't have a girlfriend.
And
so
a lot of stuff has fallen apart since
Yeah.
learning about Jessica Alba not being the one who makes Alba face wash. But, well, we should rewatch these movies is what I think we should do.
Yeah, maybe rewatch them and then talk about them.
Yeah, we could do. That'll be the sequel to this. We'll rewatch them and talk them.
Just say the same exact things. I feel like Idle Hands was on TV a lot when I was growing, like in the early 2000s.
I think there's a Seth Green run in the early 2000s where it was like, is Seth Green going to be the next big comedian? Like, there was a time... That question was asked. Those words were uttered at some point. Oh my God. There was a time in the 90s where it was like, people didn't know what the next comedian looked like. And they were like, is it going to be Jamie Kennedy?
Yeah.
Is it going to be...
But Jamie Kennedy's very funny. Like, his stand-up's good. I know some of his bigger stuff is kind of stupid, but he is actually really fun. I've heard him on podcasts.
Seth Green is too, but like as a writer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like one of the main dudes from Family Guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like done some really good stuff, but there's a time, and I think that was like, Idle Hands was like a showcase for him where it's like, he's done the main characters. Look at how funny this guy is.
Yeah. What year is Austin Powers? It's before?
Early 2000s, I think.
Oh, okay.
I would guess, let's play a guessing game. What do you think? Give me your years for Austin Powers 1, 2, and 3.
I think 1 is like 98.
Okay, so you think it was before 2000?
Yeah.
Okay. When do you think 2 was?
I mean now we're 2002 and then 2005 or 6.
Okay, first one, and I was surprised by this, 97. I know, pretty unbelievable actually. And yeah, Seth Green was in that, so he was actually in that before Idle Hands.
Okay.
And then now I have to find out when the next 2 were made. Let's see.
I remember being a young kid watching the first Austin Powers.
Me too, and thinking like maybe my parents shouldn't be letting me watch this.
Yeah.
1999, and then 2002.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah.
And those are so close together.
Dude, they were pumped. And that's another guy that fell off.
Mike Myers.
It was crazy. That one kind of blows my mind because he's one of my growing up favorite comedians, like Wayne's World and all those were some of my favorite fucking movies growing up, and Austin Powers.
I think it was a different kind of fall off though. Like, it kind of felt like Jessica Alba. There was like 2 days where Jessica Alba was the most popular woman in the world.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately
Number
2
one.
days.
If you were asked in middle school who's the hottest chick ever, it's Jessica Alba, or you're gay.
Yeah.
No, you didn't want to be gay in middle school.
No, nobody
Bad
wanted it.
news,
It wasn't.
dude.
It wasn't cool back then.
Well, yeah, back in our day, it was not cool to be gay. or be thought of as gay, unfortunately.
Well, I think what happened with Mike Myers is he took some missteps.
With Kanye West, you think I feel like that ruined it for him, and there's nothing to do with him.
I think it was like he did The Love Guru. That was like a really shitty movie. But like he never fell off because like Shrek is probably one of the most successful animated franchises ever. Mm-hmm. And he was that, like, and you make a lot of money off that shit. Bohemian Rhapsody, like he kept making stuff. He just stopped being
he wasn't like
the most famous comedian and everything. But that happens. Like I think having Austin Powers is pretty good, right? Like Jim Carrey has like 6 or 7 movies that he's the face of.
He's transcends though.
Yeah. What's the rule? I think it's that.
Isn't he in trouble?
No, he's just a crazy person. But I don't know that he's specifically in trouble.
Okay. I just feel like
yeah.
You can't talk about anyone these days.
He's for sure a fucking nut.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard them say comedians get 8 movies.
Okay.
Like at your max, you kind of get 8 movies.
8 like big time.
Like the best comedic career you could hope for is 8 really big
remembered movies.
Yeah.
So Will Ferrell and like Adam Sandler kind of transcended that.
I guess so, but like I dare you to try and name 8 good movies that either of those guys made.
Well, Adam Sandler's going to be harder. Will Ferrell, though, I think you can do.
Let's do it.
Okay. Anchor 1. Anchor 2?
No.
The shark part?
We'll go
the
for
shark, though.
We'll go for scraps at the end once you realize you can only get to like 5 or 6.
Okay. The school one. Old School.
Okay. Arguably not his movie, but that counts as.
I'm
fine with that.
The soccer one.
Kicking and Screaming.
Dude, it's great.
A lot of people put that in there. I'll take it. Okay.
The one where he's a cop.
You are terrible with the names of these movies. The other guys.
It's so funny because I can horror any other genre. I'm like,
The Other Guys is what you're thinking of.
The Other Guys.
Okay.
Dude, great opening scene with Sam Jack and The Rock.
Love
dying.
it. Love it.
Night at the Roxbury.
That's scraps. I like it, but
that's my favorite movie.
I like it, but I don't think most people consider that a great Will Ferrell
Wait, you mean one's based on SNL sketches?
Yeah, most of them.
Oh no,
most of them are. Okay, I'll serve you a couple on a plate here. Elf is definitely one you have to bring up. Step Brothers is definitely one you have to bring up. After those, though,
the one where he goes to prison with that Kevin Hart.
Oh God, Get Hard.
Get Hard.
I've only seen it like 4 times, so
yeah, I saw it in theaters. I liked it.
It's possible we saw that in theaters together.
Sounds like something.
Jared Schneider was probably there too. And all of us were like, that was actually kind of funny.
Yeah. Dude, Will Ferrell.
Okay, Talladega Nights.
Okay.
Okay, Blades of Glory, sure.
Yeah.
He has 8 big movies. That transcends.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Adam Sandler, you definitely could name 8 movies he's been in. 8 good movies, though. I'd argue that he's made like 3 good movies.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison.
I like Lil Nicky.
Lil Nicky's
Most
good.
people like Big Daddy.
Yeah. So that's like
and
4.
And then you have like Funny People, which people loved.
I won't count that. It's not really even. It's like a commentary on comedy. It's not really.
Yeah, and like I fucking loved Uncut Gems. I think that's like the best thing he's ever done. But that's like he's basically just a new person in that movie.
Yeah, he's not involved in the writing of that movie. Wait,
that's the Safdie brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. But there aren't many other comedians you can really name like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, what you have to do is you do what Usher Raymond did. You are the hot football player in the faculty.
Yep.
Then you become like the biggest R&B star in the world.
Yep.
And then you get herpes.
What's this thing? He just has herpes, and that's what he's known for now?
I mean, I don't know how known he is for it, but I've heard it talked about. I've heard it talked about.
That motherfucker gave me herpes.
Yeah. I've heard people say it.
I feel like everybody has herpes.
Yeah. Yeah, no herpes shame, by the way.
Yeah, we
no herpes shame.
do that.
Yeah, because everybody else.
I kind of got to know about Jim Carrey because I feel like
How are we looking on time?
we're chilling, dude. We're at like 45 minutes just hanging out.
Great.
No, yeah, Jim Carrey's chilling, dude.
Jim Carrey is
Not
famously
canceled. Not canceled.
He's not canceled. This fucking cancel shit.
Done.
Yeah, Jim Carrey is. He hasn't done anything like really bad, but he is just like kind of he's a crazy fucking person.
Yeah,
for sure.
He's a genius. Yeah, he's like an artist.
He's like, yeah, and he's like, he pisses a lot of people off. Apparently, he's a pain in the ass to be around.
Sure.
He used to marry like every co-star and get a divorce, but he's not. I don't think he's like an actual really shitty human or anything.
Yeah, best Jim Carrey role.
Best Jim Carrey movie or Jim Carrey role? Dumb and Dumber. That's my favorite Jim Carrey movie of all. It's probably my favorite comedy of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
It is one of those that you go back and watch and you're like, holy fuck.
And you piss yourself like every time you watch it.
The Riddler.
Controversial take. Controversial take.
The movie, great.
Yeah.
Amazing. Uma Thurman. I mean, dude, how many comic book characters, and villains are you going to fit into the same movie? Or are they not? It's Uma Thurman.
She's not in that one. She's in the next one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Both great movies.
Yeah.
Are they both Val Kilmer even?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
that's not the Val
Birdman.
Kilmer.
Whatever his name is. The guy who played Birdman. Fucking...
Michael
Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
I think it's Val Kilmer then Keaton.
Okay. Val Kilmer's the first one.
He's the one with the Riddler, and Keaton's one in.
No. It's the same actor for both of those.
Are they both? Those are both.
I think Michael Keaton is the original Batman. So that's Batman Returns, I believe.
Well, this is not good.
You keep working on that. And I will do a little research.
My mic just, all right.
Okay. If we're still recording here, I'll tell you what I've learned. Val Kilmer is the Batman for the two sort of thought to be worst Batmans. Like, meaning like they're not like... Okay, here's what they are. They're the most campy Batmans.
I think not the Freeze one. But the one before that.
With the Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
That's in... Top 3 is big to say that. But
top 3 Batmans?
I think it's top... It's probably 3, but it's up there, dude.
And you're not alone in thinking that. A lot of people like them because they're really campy and they're insane and they're fun. And, like, you take them for what they are. And I do think Jim Carrey's good in it, right? Yeah. It's just like... It's a hard transition... after the movie before with the Penguin and Catwoman. Yeah. Because those movies are way darker. They're not like necessarily more serious, but they're not like goofy. Mm-hmm. Like the Penguin is a disgusting character. They want you to feel sick watching him eat raw fish. And then you go into Jim Carrey being insane. To me, a big miss was never getting Will Ferrell as a Riddler. Like in a... remake or something like that.
He would have been good. But I kind of like I like either a comic book movie to be a comic booky or go really dark. I don't like this like Avengers in between bullshit.
So I love the Avengers movies, as you know.
I like them. I'm just, if I'm going to be picky of what's perfect, that's...
The thing about the Avengers that's interesting is they've set the standard for what the white bread of comic book movies are. And like Wonder Bread at one point in time was really popular. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Avengers are. Is they're like, this is what a superhero movie is supposed to be.
Well, I think Iron Man probably started
Iron Man started it. Yeah. And there's kind of a bunch of those. And then even within the Marvel sort of universe, you have movies trying new things. Like you have Doctor Strange, which is really trippy and very Inception-y. Yeah. And these different movies going down different paths.
It's honestly probably one of my least favorite.
Doctor Strange? I loved it. Really? But, I mean, I like all those movies. You know, I'm a sucker for them.
Yeah.
But where it gets good, it's like the Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Knight, where it's like they're leaning into darkness.
Yeah, I want even darker though.
Give me an example.
Sin City.
Sure. Okay.
As a
it's a comic book.
Yeah. Taking. Because there's again, I'm not a huge comic, but like Frank Miller's Batman, I know, like he's like killing people and shit. I know, and even in those, like Batman isn't quote unquote killing people. It's like unspoken.
Does Batman kill people in Frank Miller's?
I think so. Probably wrong.
I'm pretty sure Frank Miller did Sin
I just
City.
want No, he also did. He definitely did a Batman.
Batman Year One.
Yes.
I don't know if he's killing people in that or not. I can't speak to it. But
basically, I just want Batman to be a serial killer, and I'd watch it.
But that will never really be Batman because, like,
that's just a dream.
But
again, I'm saying this super hypocritically because I refuse to see the Joker.
Oh yeah, the Joker's amazing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what would be a good one is like, we've never had a good Hulk movie.
That's true.
Make a Hulk movie
it's hard,
that is rated R. Like, I want to see bodies exploding against walls because the Hulk is just like smacking
but when you're doing that's true. It's hard though to make that dark. It can be like bloody action, but can you really do a dark Hulk if he's gonna turn green and be a fucking giant?
You would downplay the like really cartoony side of
buff.
it. He'd get bigger, greener, and meaner, but it would almost be more of a horror movie.
Yeah, you do like a take on what that means to turn that, not like actually turn, but like that rage.
You have a lot of horror movies where you follow a main character and then you find out that they're the killer later.
Yeah. No, yeah, it would be
a classic trope that they do in those things.
Yeah, it'd be a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde is basically the Hulk.
Yeah. That'd be pretty fun, I think.
A good Dr. Jekyll, like Mr. Hyde.
Did you not like the original?
The originals with who?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? I haven't seen it, but it's an old famous movie.
Are you talking about when there's the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which is like based on...
We are just IMDbing this shit out of this stuff.
Yeah, dude. That's how we do it over here.
You're probably right.
I mean, Cabinet Doctor... I think there probably is some old doctor, But...
Anyway, we can edit out the stuff that we don't know, but...
So we don't have a podcast. It's going to be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We introduce ourselves, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and here we are. See you later.
Here's the end.
Nick has dildos. That was fun.
Edit it out because you don't know that.
Yeah.
Not fact. Well, what do you guys do on your next? Do you guys have a plan for your next podcast? What the movies are going to be?
Well, we've been a little bit up in the air. We're trying to be respectful of all the shit happening in the world and like not putting out anything till we have something good. Because normally what we do is we're putting out a movie. We're doing a podcast on a movie that just came out.
Got it.
No new movies are coming out. Yeah. So like, yeah, we could find like a Netflix release to do it on. But we kind of want to do something good. We were thinking about Five Bloods, which just came out. It's Spike Lee's new movie.
Okay.
We're talking about maybe doing Eurovision, which is the new Will Ferrell weird movie. I think it's a movie that just came out. And then we were going to do Lovebirds, but we haven't done it yet.
I don't know any of those movies.
Well,
you
got some research to do.
That's where I'm at.
You got some research to do.
And all I do is I either play video games or watch horror. That's it.
Okay.
I watch a lot of horror.
Well, and work out.
Wait. Yeah.
Remember you were telling me
that's
about
like 80% of my time.
Here's a question for you while I have you on mic.
Uh-oh.
I watched...
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Go on.
I watched Us the other night.
Okay.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
I really liked it.
It's funny. The first season's great, and then the start of the second season, because it goes to L.A. Wait. I'm thinking... I'm thinking of the show Love.
I'm just sitting here staring at Nick, wondering what the fuck he's talking about.
The
Jordan Peele movie.
Hated it.
Really?
Like, hard take, just absolutely despised it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you like Get Out?
Yes.
Why did you hate Us? Not to say that those movies are that similar, but
It's like Get Out at least like Us is like so on the nose of like what it's some fucking commentary on society, and generally just bad and like didn't really add nothing added up. It wasn't that interesting of a plot, I didn't think, and like it wasn't even that, I don't know, it was just like such a weird idea and concept. It was like, why would they ever do? I don't know. It
just didn't piece together for you.
Yeah, it didn't add up, and then I hated the like not talking and the like noises and like it was like trying to be creepy.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my god.
I thought Lupita Nyong'o was so good in that movie.
Yeah.
She's the main lady.
Yeah.
And she is both gorgeous and incredible in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was watching it and I was like, I wonder if Nick likes this movie.
Did you think would you lean towards I didn't?
I thought that you'd be pretty critical of it.
Okay. I appreciate what he tried to do, but I also feel like he, again, this is, in my opinion, means nothing. Jordan Peele's enormously successful, but I think he completely failed at what he was trying to do.
With Us. Yeah.
Yes, with Us. Got Out was fucking great, and he nailed what he was trying to do and say. I didn't know.
I think what he was trying to do with Us is like make a more horror movie than Get Out was, that could still have general appeal and say something, and then also like still be very kind of like a Black Lives Matter movie to a degree, and I think like he did in that. A lot of people liked Us. People saw it. It was critically acclaimed. I think people fell in love with Lupita Nyong'o, and a lot of people thought she should have won Best Actress, or at least been nominated for it. So I think in that sense, he did a lot of things well. But I agree. I don't think it's as good a movie as Get Out at all.
No, and dude, they're just so. And I'm a big proponent. Like horror movies don't have to be quote like scary to be good at all. But like the scissors and the jumpsuit, like it was I just never was scared. I never felt like, oh shit. It was like almost comical.
Yeah, it wasn't a terribly scary movie.
Yeah, I mean, I did like my favorite scene is when the two white girls get killed, the sisters.
Yeah,
and like that's great.
That watching that whole family go down is great. They're like this obnoxious rich
and that's
white
when
family.
you find out that there's more than just. And that was cool.
And they're like the rich white family next door, and they're all pieces of shit. And it's nice just watching all of them kind of get it.
Yeah. And the ending's cool, I guess.
Just her describing it.
Well, the fact that she's
right. Yeah. Spoiler.
That's cool, I guess. And then what was their? They just wanted to hold hands across the world. Dude, come on.
Yeah, the hold hands part was dumb. What it was that when she switched with her when she was younger, the other girl was like, hey, we're not all just going to fucking stay down here marrying the people out there. Let's go take it back.
Yeah.
And got everybody on board with that and shit. So, like, it's cool. It's weird because, we're obviously talking a lot about the movie Us right now, but what I thought was interesting about it was they spent all this time at the end just, like, explaining what happened. But it was not an airtight explanation. Like, it's kind of like they went like 70% and they didn't go 100% into making it
that's
work.
what I would rather. You don't explain anything,
right?
Than attempt at kind of a lazy explanation. Like literally, don't explain anything. And then I get it's really hard to do with me like a blockbuster and to give. I bet he didn't want to do that if I were to like go into the mind. But the producer's like, you gotta like let people know what the fuck is going on.
Well, it's like when you watch like a good sci-fi movie or like even a superhero, like you watch Iron Man, right? Mm-hmm. We all know that the Iron Man suit doesn't exist. Yeah, I think as far as we know, at least unless they're hiding it somewhere. Yeah, but they explain how it works, but they don't like actually explain it. They're like, oh well, yeah, the thrusters on the boots. Yeah, and as an audience, like, okay, good enough. Yeah, thrusters on boots.
Well, it's there's like lazy writing and not lazy writing. Is like if and you can tell right away if a movie has lazy writing if you're paying attention. If immediately they use something in those first scenes to explain exactly where they are, like
exposition.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's it's bad writing.
I just more mean with like things that are supernatural, like with Us. Mm-hmm. It's like they went too far to not close everything out.
Yeah.
But they didn't go far enough to close everything out. Like, I'm okay with you giving a lazy explanation of something to keep a movie going forward. Mm-hmm. I'd be okay with it being like, turns out there's a mirror universe under Us.
Yeah.
Call it a day. That's fine.
I haven't thought about this, but you bring up a good point. Like, I think I would have liked the movie a lot more if I had to leave. Like, who the fuck are they?
Right.
And being like, what the fuck just happened? As opposed to like, it's like, exactly, like, is this a practical explanation, like a scientific, or is this like a more...
Right. Like, did I miss something? Because it's not all like, piecing together?
Yeah, so close. Every human has been, it's like, and they fit down there.
Like, if they sat there and spent 30 minutes in Iron Man running through the blueprints and giving us a scientific explanation of the suit, you'd be pissed off as an audience member because you're like, don't try and convince me that this works. Mm-hmm. It doesn't, or else we'd have it. And so it's like, it's okay to just give quick things. And had they just said in that movie, there's a mirror universe under us. It was created by scientists, and that's all we really know.
Yeah.
Then not only is the audience like, okay, that's fine. And then the whole time you're like, God, I wonder what the fuck is up with that mirror universe. Guess what that means? Sequel.
Yeah. Totally.
And I'd be okay with that. Like, I like questions.
Yeah. But again, I think that's producers and people who pay for these movies don't like. It scares them.
Well, yeah, because it'll probably give you bad test scores
and
stuff.
Yeah, and it does, again, like when I watch movies with people who aren't like film buffs, they'll like immediately be like, oh, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like, bro, come on.
Right.
Hey, man.
There's no mirror universe under us.
Yeah. How does that work, though? Because it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
But I still loved it. I thought it was really good.
Interesting. I think we've talked about Us on every episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about the show Love? Have you talked about that at all, Nick?
Did you...
Remember when I
little throwback?
You know what you thought it was This Is Us. And then that
which I haven't seen.
But that like drew you into
which
love
is weird
somehow. That
I haven't seen that. I think I know This Is Us because Brian Callen's on it.
That's possible.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess the show Love is kind of, it is a horror show.
I haven't watched it.
Oh.
That's the one about the stalker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. It's supposed to be good.
He's a killer. Chris D'Elia touches children in that show, which is unfortunate for him.
For the children also.
Well, and his career. He's going to be made fun of, and it's going to be played back. Do you know who Chris D'Elia is? Or? Okay. So this is like...
I feel like now I know something about him.
He's he's a comedian who I liked. I guess I still like him, but I don't know if I can say that. Who there's some claims now that like he hits on fans a lot.
Movie. It wasn't a part of, or it wasn't.
No, he's in love. Okay. In Love, his character like is going after an underage girl, right. And then cut to now, a lot of accusations that he like hit on and tried to sleep with like 17-year-olds on Instagram. So now people are just like playing that show and like,
dude's canceled.
He's legit, probably full canceled.
Yeah,
and
I don't know what that.
I'm not going to do it.
Way, but...
I don't know. That's a buzzword that I like.
Cancel.
I'm on any side, but as of now, he never slept with an underage girl. So he didn't.
This is a true crime podcast.
Yeah. So
this is called the Devil's Advocate podcast.
Yeah.
And
yeah, dude. If we had that podcast, you and I could go on for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And people would hate it. Like,
yeah.
These fucking self-righteous fucking assholes.
People probably aren't liking it much right now. I'm okay with it though.
Yeah. Well, we're good, dude. I want to listen to your podcast
That'd be great, man.
Yeah. You should listen to
just an episode or two. Would be
No,
great.
I will. Listen to the Drop Dead, which is the true crime,
Okay.
which is coming back soon.
Okay. When is your? So you have another podcast, Drop Dead, and this is called.
This is doesn't really. It's horror movies with Mo.
Horror movies with Mo.
It doesn't have a name yet. It's all under Drop Dead Podcast umbrella.
Okay.
But the other one, Drop Dead Podcast, this is fairly new. We've done like 4 episodes of talking about horror flicks. But the other, in Drop Dead Podcast, we talk about crazy events from history or like serial killers and just go in depth. It's basically Last Podcast on the Left, but better?
Probably. Says
the guy on YouTube, maybe. Yeah. Comment. Definitely not me with another account, but it's good to have you here, dude. I'm glad you're in town.
Hey, man. Great being on here. Thanks for having me. Anybody listening, go check out Two Reels podcast also. It's on every platform.
Shit's too real.
Shit is too real.
Oof.
And see what you think.
Cut that out.